Hello, my name is Grant Reeves. I am currently a sophomore at the University of California, San Diego. I am a student athlete on the swim team, and this is my Plague Diaries Volume 1. The date is currently Thursday, October 15th, 2020. So, I guess I'm going to touch on three main categories when I'm looking into this, and it's going to be, so what's going on with me? So, athletics. For the first time in months, I was able to actually get back and have an actual team practice. It was actually a dry land practice, so as on the swim team, we call any activities that are not in the pool dry land. And so in this dry land practice, there was a giant field arranged with a bunch of cones, and each person had a 12 by 12 box that they had to stay in for the entire dry land so we can maintain social distancing, and we had to wear our masks the entire time, and it was quite the debacle actually getting into the boxes and everything, and we got yelled at quite a few times for not maintaining social distancing the whole time because, I mean, there's people everywhere. It's hard, but you got to be cognizant of it. What else is going on with me? Classes, they're all online. I was supposed to have a discussion that was going to be in person for my organic chemistry class. Yes, I'm taking organic chemistry, general chemistry, the history of pandemics and epidemics, this class. And then I'm also taking anthropology. And so whoever thought it was a good idea to take organic chemistry and general chemistry in the same quarter, all online, not a smart move. So classes are very rough because they're all online. And it's really difficult to interface with the material, especially for me because I'm dyslexic, and I guess I can add some interesting perspective to our future students on what it's like to be I don't want to say disabled, but I guess like a student with a disability in this time. Like, as a person with auditory and visual dyslexia and ADD, absorbing information through a screen all the time makes classes like literally 100 times harder. So what I find myself doing is I'll watch the lecture synchronously, like I'll watch the lecture live and I'll take my synchronous notes, and then later I'll go back, I'll watch the whole lecture again, and then I'll take my asynchronous notes, and then on top of that I'll study and do practice problems for like chemistry classes, and for other things I'll do the readings for this class, and I'm basically at my computer like 10 to 13 hours a day, like every single day when I'm not at swim practice. And then I'll sleep for like 7 hours a night, which is pretty good, honestly. Last night I slept for like 5 hours actually, but whatever, what are you gonna do? So, second section actually. So, what's the political environment like? I think that generally history is written from the perspective of like the broad topics, the like what it was like for the like general populace, right? But when you don't have that actual on the ground, like people experiencing it themselves, you can lose some of the intricate details, I guess. And so what the political environment is like, there's currently, how many? It's on the 3rd. So there's 18 days, or no, because there's 31 days. Yeah, so there's 19 days until the election. I don't know. I'm a fairly politically involved, and currently it looks like Biden's running ahead in nearly all the polls. In the 2020 election, it's Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, and Donald Trump won a narrow victory, losing the popular vote, but winning the Electoral College in 2016, and now Biden is running significantly ahead of where Hillary Clinton, who was the Democratic candidate in 2016, is running, and at least at this point, it looks a lot like Biden is going to win. I currently have not voted. I don't know. I honestly, I really strongly dislike both of the candidates. I really don't like Trump because of his personality foibles and because he's pardon my language, but basically a shitty person. He is not cognizant at all of how his words affect the broader people, and he tweets out random stuff that is oftentimes really insensitive, and it's not a good way that the president should conduct himself. He's the figurehead of the United States of America, and he's not doing a great job with it. Although I also don't like Joe Biden because, well, for one, he's like clearly in mental decline, and I guess you guys will know more because it will be less politicized by the time that people are watching this, but he, at least watching it at this point, it really does appear that he's in the early stages of dementia or something of that nature, because it's really hard to watch a speech of his without him stumbling over his words through the whole speech. And personally, his policies, I believe, would be really bad for the country. And I believe that Republican policies would be better for the country, but it's really hard for me to support Donald Trump because I believe that he's a really bad representative for Republican policies either way. Basically, with COVID, what's been happening and what I fear will continue to happen is a massive expansion in government power. Like, people are now talking about how the government will be using, because everybody has a phone, obviously. I mean, I'm using mine to record right now, but everybody has a phone, and people have been talking about how they're going to track our phones, so then they can tell us if we've been within 6 feet of somebody who has COVID, and so they're going to be tracking us all the time. And the University of California, San Diego put forward a program that does the same thing, basically. And I didn't sign up for it because I don't feel comfortable allowing the university or the government or anybody to know my location at all times. And that's just one of many examples of, things that the government is doing or other bodies are doing that is really an invasion of privacy of people, but people just gloss over it because there's this huge pandemic going on and it's really a time of crisis. But those are things that I guess you will be able to look back on and see that this is really the origin of a lot of the massive expansion of government power that's happened in the following decades. I really think that that's going to be a huge issue in the coming future. And I guess my third topic is, so what's the social environment like? I'm running a little bit over on time, but I guess this is the first one, so it's okay. I'll establish some ground rules here, and then they'll be shorter in the following ones. But so what's the social environment like? Basically, everybody is going insane over social distancing and mask wearing. Honestly, it's very ascientific. The fact that a mask is like a neck, I don't know what we call them, neck gaiters now, the ones where basically you wear a mask, but it's just like spreads out across your whole neck and then hangs down. I'm sure you could Google a picture of it, but those masks have actually been said by the CDC to be worse than nothing, because when you cough or you breathe, it expels the particles in all directions, and then as you're touching the mask throughout the day, you get possible COVID on your fingers, and then as you're touching things, it's actually worse than nothing. Although people around campus wear those all the time, and that's still okay. And then me and my roommate Will got yelled at a couple days ago and almost got suspended from the swim team for standing within 6 feet of each other for 30 seconds when we were outside of our physical examinations before the season starts. We live together, which obviously no one cares about because not everybody knows we live together, and we need to present ourselves as if we're always social distancing and everything. It's just, there's a lot of hysteria, and I guess I will touch on that more, but I really don't want to go over 10 minutes. So, yeah, there's a lot of hysteria about everything, and the world is a crazy place right now. All right, there's volume 1.